Hi everyone. So we're going to get into looking at the minors of the Sigilla Medievalia today. Okay, so the way I've divided up the minors, I'm going to move them to one side so we can see them, and then I'm going to pull out our corresponding major. So our first major, of course, is because I like to look at these kinds of things all together. So our first major is the magician, obviously. And so then we have the ace of wands, or the one of fire. And we have the one of water. The one of air. There's our little symbols at the bottom. And we have let's see, where can I put this? I'm going to put the box to one side too. And we have the one of earth. And this is where I personally started to go, oh, she's using the OM alphabet in all of these. So there is something in the guidebook, because I went back to the guidebook. Went back to the guidebook this morning. Yeah, so the major arcana, the sigils for the major arcana were created from their astrological rulership, their elemental associations, and the first letters of the essence words. With either the Latin or Greek alphabet, the major arcana cards are titled with Roman numerals only. So the minor arcana, the sigils for the minor arcana pip cards, those numbered 1 through 10, were created from their astrological correspondences or the astrological decan associations, their elemental associations, and the first letter of the essence words. For the 4 suits of the minor arcana, I chose, or more like was inspired and guided, to use a different script or alphabet for each one. They are as follows. So the OM script for the earth, traditional pentacle suit, the runes for the water or the cup suit, the alphabet of the magi for the fire or the wand suit. I wondered where that was coming from. Okay, and then the angelic script for the air or sword suit. Now that's fascinating. So I could see that, I was picking up the OMs and the runes, but I have never heard of the alphabet of the magi or the angelic script. But I was looking at it and thinking, wow, those are intense. Where is that coming from? So, wow. Julianne. Damn. That is intense and awesome. Wow. Oh my gosh. So I can see I'm going to want to go through and really actually learn which, I don't really know, excuse me. I don't really know the OM alphabet, and I don't know the runes very well. So I already knew, like, oh, I need to clearly go back and spend some time with OMs and runes. But I think I'm going to want to look up the alphabet of the magi and the angelic script, because that's fascinating. And it can only serve, knowing and understanding those sigils is only going to deepen my understanding of working with this deck. Wow. So this is fire. So that would be magi, and then there's angelic. And there's rune, and then there's OM. And I like that they're sort of inside these, they're almost like seeds. To me, these feel like seeds, like the basic essence of each of these elements, like a summary. And again, I think probably I feel certain saying that Julianne is probably going to be completely fine with me saying, like, well, I'm not really sure, but here's what I feel. This is one of the few decks that that you can work with where it's really safe and okay to say, like, well, I don't know this one thing, but I feel like this other thing. So yeah. Um, and this feels fiery to me somehow. And this feels swordsy to me somehow. This definitely feels earthy. I'm not sure that I would say the runes necessarily feel watery, but I wouldn't say that they wouldn't either. So fascinated. Okay, let's move our aces. And I have put them in the order. I tend to do that anyway, but I like when I'm not sure of how the deck creator intends for the suits to evolve, or for, yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. I tend to put them in, in order of fire, water, air, earth. So that's the order I indeed put them in. Okay, so we'll move those here to one side. Let's look at the twos. Yep, it's all my twos. So, 2 of fire. So this is clearly the Magi alphabet part. Okay, and here's a rune. And our 2 of cups. And then the 2 of air. Oh, yeah, that's our angelic script happening with Libra. And, oops. And then this one would be the 2 of Pentacles. Interesting. Got this kind of Jupiter, Capricorn, Saturn, Olam thing happening. Yeah. So there we are. There's our twos. And I'll futz over their order real quick here. Yeah. Before putting them away. Okay, and then, okay, threes. Oh, by the way, so here was our 2. This is our High Priestess. So we definitely have the 2 duality happening. The threes, I think, are going to bear very little resemblance to the Empress. We could be amazed by that, possibly. We could be always shocked and amazed that things do not work out as we would think. So here is the 3 of Wands on our alphabet of the Magi there. So she hand-painted all of these sigils. I remember her saying, like, I have to be in a really good spot, mindset to actually to really paint them for the ones that I'm going to use. So she has worked very mindfully. This was done over a long period of time. Yeah. So here's our rune. Cancer. And then Mercury. 3 of Cups. This already, I have to say, just looking at them this way, I think this is the truth with every deck I have, completely starts to shift my understanding of tarot and open my mind in a completely different way. So it is like swallowing the seeds and having them unfold inside of you somehow. So 3 of Swords, again, taking us very, very much away from the traditional meaning. This is a definite heavy-handed Saturn moment. Saturnine justice being kind of dumped on you and taking you into the underworld there. But also, Saturn takes you into the underworld but hasn't abandoned you. He's right there. And not evil, because look, that is beautifully spaced there over that light. Not evil. Can feel that way, but it's not. And then the three of Pentacles. Love that. That's obviously, I know nothing about ohms, but that's obviously the right one. We get the hard work of 3, moving forward. Yeah, wow. So there are all of our 3s. And we don't see Venus. Venus is so prominent here, as is Earth, but we're really not seeing that reflected here because the elements have their own, way forward. I spent time looking at that last night when I split these up, and I was like, yeah, nope, that theory's out the door because I'm not seeing things represented here the same way. Yummy cardstock. Oh my gosh, I love this cardstock. They've really upped their game at US, no, not US Games. What am I saying? Game Crafter. They've really raised it. Okay, so here we have the 4s. So this would be the 4 of fire. And again, another, Magi alphabetic. And Venus. And Aries. Okay, and then we have our rune. Cancer, waxing and waning moons. Oh, clever. In relationship to the 4 of Cups, that is so, wow. Okay, and then we have the 4 of Swords, which, that looks so gentle and contained. Yeah, like you're kind of safe and encompassed in something that's holding you, which will come back again, interestingly, in another important Swords card there. And then again, see why I said I have to break that association with the Devil card, right? But I would say too, it also kind of illuminates my understanding of the Devil card and material things and Earth, which I know I'm sure, certain, is part of Julienne's way of thinking about and bringing this one to life. So yeah, another Om there, and the Sun in that 4 of Pence. And it's the 4 of Pentacles. Is it greed? Is it, my needs are more important than everyone else's needs? Is it, my stuff is more stuff than yours and you can't have my stuff? Protecting, putting a roof over the self and the stuff. And I don't know. They're all something to consider. So there are our 4s. They're all very different. I think if ever there was a deck that really warranted a deep dive like this, it's definitely this one. Okay, now we need to do our 5s. So the 5s, we have the 5 of fire, and here I feel this is, so we know this is Saturn. That is clearly Alphabet of the Magi. I'm so glad I know now, like, what that is, because I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. And I know that Julianne would not just be making up something for the sake of making it look pretty, right? This is, I mean, that with a sigil deck, that wouldn't make any sense at all. So we've got this lovely Scorpio here for the 5 of Cups. Wow. Just like revenge of the Scorpio. Mars, we're associating Mars here with this Scorpio. And Scorpio is traditionally associated either with Mars, which is, you get this, or with Pluto. Yeah. And there's kind of a Pluto tribute here a little bit somehow for me. There's also a rune, so beautiful. Okay, definitely 5 of Swords, definitely Aquarius. Aquarius, Venus, and an angelic alphabet association there. And they're not equal. There's inequality is happening in air, which is very often about justice and equality. Something is maybe not being returned. And then we have a very, wow. That's 5 of Pentacles. Look at that. And I've lost, there it is. 5 of Pentacles. Wow. So Mercury and Taurus, or Taurus with Mercury inside of it, and all of, so, I mean, everything you need is inside. Yeah. Wow. So these are our 5s. Okay, 6s. So we have a Leo and a Jupiter and an alphabet of the Magi. Wow, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, like, just, yeah. And instantly, like, woo, like the Leonine Jupiterian, like, big parties happening, explosions, streamers, yeah, so that'd be 6 of Wands there. So then we have the 6 of Cups. Woo! Scorpio, look at that. Scorpio and the Sun. And this rune. I'm not even going to try and say their names because I may even have the wrong runic alphabet in my mind. I'm not great with runes, as I said. So remember what I was saying about the 4 of Swords. 6 of Swords. The boat. And going someplace that's safer, being transported someplace safer. Mercury, travel. Aquarius, water. Kind of looks like a Viking ship a little bit. But this one was one of the most immediate. When I saw it, I burst out laughing because I thought, oh, of course, of course. It just is so immediate. And I love that the light in this card, like where it's placed, because it's where it's where the light is in all of them. but she's clearly like shifting them up just a little or over and so on, just so that it hits at the right spot, and it's illuminating this sort of crossroads and the heart space if this were like a person. Yeah. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. And the Om. Beautiful. Yeah, so those are our fours. No, what am I saying? Those were the sixes. Woo, brain fart. Okay, so then we have our sevens. So these would be Chariot associated, potentially. So we have a Mars. This will be fire. So we have Mars, Leo, and another Magi squiggle that's very similar to the one that was on the last one. Okay, and we've got another Scorpionic in our Seven of Cups. Venus. Ooh, why am I turning that over? Ooh, this one is so angelic script, it's not even funny. Yeah, I think this was where I started to get lost with the swords a little bit, because I thought, I don't know where I'm going here, which is okay. Wow, it could be. It just hit me like, this is like Seven of Air, Seven of Swords. Yeah, that could be, that confusion might be just right. Yep. Wow. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So I love this. This would be the Seven of Earth or Pentacles. To me, this is like someone going, oops, you get back to work right now. Do your work and you'll have more money, but you have to do the work, you know? Or, you know, sort of like a, I don't know, this to me, it looks like a person. And then there's like solidarity, you know, solidarity, do your work for the benefit of all, you know, that kind of comes across to me there somehow. So there we go. There are our, and this Om is obviously being highlighted a little bit, so that's work for me to do. Beautiful. Wow. Wow. This is one thing I adore and love so much about the tarot, because, you know, every time a new creator does something with it, it just opens so many doors to understanding. It's such a giant puzzle. There's just so much to learn. You know, I don't think we'll ever get to a place where there's nothing left to learn. Wow. And, you know, they do get increasingly complex as we get into the higher numbers. So now we're in the eights. This is the Eight of Wands. Wow. There's just so much going on. We've got some Sagittarius coming in there. Sagittarius definitely starts to have that kind of, yeah, you know, heaviness. As a fire sign. Let's see. Pisces happening. Eight of Cups. Wow. So, all right. So we have Saturn here, and, you know, in terms of like feeling torn between two things, which is where the light is, you know, that's where that symbol comes from for Pisces. So the glyph for Pisces, or the sigil, you know, these two fish that are tied together, these two opposite things tied together, both trying to pull away from the other. obviously where Saturn is involved, there's a greater draw or pull in one direction than in the other. Wow. And there's Gemini here. This is air. So we've got Gemini. Interesting. And then Jupiter. And the Jupiter's kind of imprisoned within this angelic triangle. Which, you know, that has an Eight of Swords feel to it. I mean, there's great, you know, there's, if it's Jupiter, you're going to be fine, right? So there's nothing to fear. There's nothing that's wrong. You know, you're just working your way out, working your way through something. And then the Eight of Pentacles. I just saw a guy with a monocle looking at something in greater depth. Yeah, that one has the like prudent, this feels very prudent. Examining something a little more closely. Keeping your focus towards what you're looking at. Everything comes towards the, you know, yeah. Wow. So cool. So, and it does change things to talk through them, actually. I've always found that to be the case, that, you know, because you're so consciously, you know, looking at it and sharing it. So there's our eights. So we're coming up on our nines. I knew this would be a long one. Yeah. I knew this would be a long one. Again, we're getting increasingly complex here. So Nine of Fire. Oof. Nine of Cups. There's our rune. Pisces. Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter was also originally, before we knew that Neptune existed, you know, in Western astrology, Jupiter was originally associated with Pisces, which is interesting. And we have, and there's a journey there too, it occurs to me, like I'm just seeing that. Got more burdened Sagittarius over here. The Pisces, is where it was divided in 8, is together and under the auspices of Jupiter. It's no longer being held by Saturn anymore. So something shifted in that journey. Interesting. Okay, and then we get the 9 of Swords. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so what I'm seeing is we've got Mars out here. That is like, for me, that's aggression turned inward, or aggression turned toward the self or toward the core of our being. We've got Gemini there, so dividing. Oh, I really need to find out what this means in angelic script. I know that everything I learn about, you know, adding to this with the oghams and runes and various alphabets, it's really going to change the depth of these cards for me significantly. Wow. And the 9 of Earth. Oh, That's so soft. It's so nice to see. It's not. Yeah, it's like there's our Venus, and this feels very feminine. And if you look closely, you can see that she used a brush. I love that. I love when I can see that she used a brush and that it appears as a brush stroke, went that way. Beautiful. Wow. I'm a fan of brushwork, simple brushwork with black paint, black ink. Okay, so there we go. That was our 9s. And now we've got our 10s. So, wow. Everything is under this line, which reminds me of Devanagari, which is a particular alphabet that's used. It's used in Sanskrit and Hindu and a few other languages that are similarly based. Which makes me wonder. I was noticing that quality with the line work. And using a line above, I'm wondering, the Magi came from, I don't know, that alphabet has a feel of like, of Devanagari and Arabic. So I'm wondering, yeah, what that influence might be. But I'm also seeing we've got Saturn here. The Sagittarius is now dropped way down there, whereas before we were seeing him kind of in the middle or kind of becoming increasingly trapped. I have vague memory of this rune maybe being related to Underworld, but we're pointing downward. There's still the possibility for the Sagittarius to transcend and move beyond this, but wow, I mean, down, Underworld. This one just screams Underworld to me. Ooh, okay, so 10 of Cups. Not sure yet. Not sure that feels positive to me somehow. I mean, Mars isn't always bad. And certainly Pisces can represent a certain type of balance as well. I mean, with this on one side and this on the other, a lot of things that we're tearing apart in the journey with this Pisces have now, it's now got a sense of balance and forward movement. Oh, yeah, so this 10 of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, again, this is an angelic alphabet reference that I don't know yet. But it has the feeling of something hitting the target, which I'm sure is intentional, and being trapped, kind of game over. Or, I'm also seeing like a Japanese pagoda with a gong being rung. Interesting. Okay. And then, yeah, the 10 of Earth. Beautiful. Mercury, different rune, or a different ogham here. Okay, so these are our 10s. Okay, and that's quite a lot right there just to go through all of the minors. I feel like we would be better served to go ahead and look at the quartz another day so that we just have the space to to really see the deck and take in all of the cards. So again, this is the Sigilla Medievalia by Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Thank you so much, Julianne, for the opportunity to work with this deck. I'm learning so much just by spending the time with it, and really making these videos is tremendous. So I'm excited to see how this will unfold because of just learning all the new stuff. So, all right. Thank you again, everybody, and I'll see you again for the courts.